And if you want to avoid the burnout, there could be some reasons why you're feeling burnout. I'm dropping stuff. I'm feeling burnout. Ugh. So it is 2018 and a lot of us are making goals, resolutions for the new year, what our big plans are, projects, where we're going, what our budgets are. And then comes 4 weeks from now, the end of the month, when those things start to slip away because we just kind of lose focus or we get burnt out. And I'm teaching you in this video how to avoid the burnout as an entrepreneur. How do I avoid the burnout in my business, in my life, every single day? Well, the first thing that I do is I try not to focus on all of the what ifs and focus on the strengths, the positive, the benefits. What are all of the great things that I have going on right now, and what is that goal that I'm striving for? And if I can focus on the strengths that I have to get me there, it helps kind of just put a positive lifted weight off of your shoulders when you're getting started to go through every day. And you have to take every day one day at a time. You can't focus on, well, what about the next 100 days? You need to focus on just today. I did this the other day when I was doing my mail champ subscriber list, and there's a plateau of how many people you hit to get to the next point. So just say you have to have 2,000 subscribers and you have 500. Well, if you know that you have to pay to get to the next point and you're only at 500 and the next point is 2,000, then why would you care about hitting the 2,000 point because you're not even there yet? So it's like you're making issues or problems for an email list that I had going that I didn't need to make problems for, and I don't know why I was creating it. Stop focusing on the what ifs, think about all of the positives and the strengths that you have going for you, and as something starts to come up and you grow and go through each step in your business, your life, whatever it is that you're doing here in 2018, what is your next goal? I know this may sound harsh, but I often think about what would I do if my parents weren't here tomorrow, or my grandma, or if this house that I was in wasn't here tomorrow, my car, my spouse. I go to the extreme and I say, what would happen if I lost this person tomorrow, or I lost this thing that I am dependent on or feel dependent on? How would I act? How would I react? What would be my plan of attack? And so I know it sounds so harsh, but what if you got in a car wreck tomorrow and you weren't able to perform the task that you're performing today? Your life would be changed. You'd be forced to just do something different than what you're doing right now, or you'd be forced to adapt to the next part in your process, your business and whatnot. So don't force yourself to just be in these circumstances as in today. Put yourself into tomorrow's shoes and say, well, what if tomorrow was different? How would I be acting today? If I knew I wasn't going to have my loved one, or I knew I wasn't going to be able to walk tomorrow or do something tomorrow, how would I do today different? So the third thing that I do to avoid burnout in the new year, in my next goal, in my next process, whatever it is that I'm working on, is I get organized. It doesn't matter what project you have going on, whether it's a personal one or a business one, you need to get organized. You need to write a plan down and think about what the steps are that are going to get you to that end goal. What is that far-reaching goal that you're trying to get to, and start creating steps to get you there. You really need to focus on like 2 to, I'd say 4, but 2 to 4 steps a day to get you to your ultimate goal later on. is going to be more manageable for you to actually make an accomplishment and do something, to knock it up and be frustrated every day saying, well, why am I not there? Why haven't I gotten there? Well, you need to break down that bigger goal into daily tasks, weekly tasks, monthly tasks. You need to have a plan of attack for each day, each week, each month, and not this big goal at the end. You're going to have steps that lead you up to that. So I would do 2 to 4 tasks, like I mentioned, each day, and just make sure that you say, okay, these 2 or these 4 are a must. I have to get these things done today, or I don't move on to the next process, or I will not be fulfilled. But if I only accomplish these 2 things today, then I'm going to be fine and I'll be happy with the rest of my day, even if I don't do anything else. So start breaking down those bigger goals into smaller goals, and each day accomplishing 2, maybe 4 smaller goals to get you to the bigger one, and you're gonna feel a lot less pressure that you have to have this big, huge mystery done at the end of the day. So my 4th tip for avoiding burning out is outsourcing. Outsourcing your weaknesses, outsourcing those extremely time-consuming tasks, those tasks that you do every day, over and over, repetitive tasks that you could probably give to someone else. I mean, I started to make so much more, I want to say, money. I had more time, I was more relaxed. Once I was not only organized, but I started to outsource. I started to outsource my processes and give them to other people so that I could focus on the bigger task at hand and what I had going on in my business. And the thing to remember about outsourcing is that you just want to get someone to help you get things 80%. I made some videos about these. I'll put some links down below, but make sure that you think about what can someone help me with that's going to get me maybe 80% of the way there, 70% of the way there, and then I can finish the rest. Because if they can at least get you part of the way there, then you can start to fill in the other parts of the process to finish that ultimate project and have it done. Don't think that someone's going to do it perfect and exactly like you, because they're probably not. Okay, my last and final tip for how I avoid burnout is to take a break. Take a break, relax, get away, disconnect, whatever you want to call it. It can be for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a day, a week. It is up to you. You have to figure out what works for you, and what works for me may not work for you. I take tips and tricks from many different entrepreneurs and mentors that I've kind of found and followed over the years, and I kind of take them and do my own thing with them. So I learned what works for other people, and one thing that they all keep saying is take a break and get away, because when you have that 9-to-5 job and you go to it every day and then you come home, it's like you know that after 5 o'clock or after 4 o'clock, whatever time you get off, that it's your own time. You can do whatever you want, and then you got to be back in the morning. So the problem that us as entrepreneurs kind of tend to fall into is we don't take a break, and we tend to just put so much on ourselves and think everything has to be done in a day, but it really doesn't. Take a break, breathe. It'll help you with your creativity, even if it's just to get outside and walk around. Maybe you take a vacation, maybe you go hang out with a friend or a family member, someone that you love and enjoy spending time with. What are those things that make you feel more creative, more alive, and really get you pumped and excited about your business? What's the reason that you started your business? Think about these things when you get so burnt out, and take a break. That can be the simplest process. And some people will even go to the point of like exercising, yoga, meditation, just getting away, putting yourself in a different mindset. And then you're going to be refreshed to come back to all the projects that you have going and you're gonna have a different way of thinking. A lot of times if you can take a break and come back, you just have a whole new refresh and thought process. Just like at the end of the day when you get done at your job and it's 5 o'clock, you're like, oh, get me out of here. You come back the next day and you're like, oh, I've had a good sleep. Or even the weekend, you get done with your weekend, you come back on Monday and you're probably like, I have this job to do. But you probably feel a lot better on Monday than you did on Friday when you're ready to get out of there. So that can be the biggest dream killer, is people that don't take a break and take time for themselves. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to be there later on to show up for other people and get these tasks done, whether it be just showing up for yourself. At some point you're gonna have to show up for other people, so start taking care of yourself now, getting healthy, getting in that better frame of mindset, taking a break and relaxing. It will make you so much more creative in the long run. So those are my top 5 tips for how to avoid the burnout, especially if you're an entrepreneur, because we all know it can be lonely on the ride and it can be lonely when you get to the top. So I want to know, what are your goals for 2018? And since we're on the task of 2, I want to hear your top 2 goals for 2018. What is your goal? Either something to stop doing or start doing. Put that in the comments below and let me know. So if you want to avoid the burnout in 2018 when it comes to your business, then it might mean that you need to make sure that you have all of the pieces of the puzzle in place. And I have created a cheat sheet for how I do not get burnout whenever it comes to a new business idea, which is my 6-step startup cheat sheet to help you build your business from the ground up. Make sure and pick that up in the description from Brandi of blogginbrandi.com, where you can find tons of free resources to help you brand your business. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.